Hello and welcome to At Home with Mindy. Before we start, I will point out we're a family of 4 adults. I didn't go shopping on Thursday, so that's why there's no haul. Barry literally went out for milk, bread and the basics. So we've been eating through the chest freezer. Still loads in there. It seems to be never ending. We went slightly over the budget that I like to set. I like to set £60. I kind of knew I was going over budget, which is why there's hardly any snacks. Or hardly any snacks for our standard. But we'll start with the Tesco's part. We've got a big block of cheese for £4.25. I've just realised I didn't get the 4 pints of milk out the fridge, which is in the dining room, so I'm not going to go and get it now, but there is 4 pints of milk should be here. We've got some fruit yoghurts. These have gone up to 85 compared to when I last brought these to, but I like the look of these because they look like they've got bits in, so I thought I'd give those a try. I think last time we had like the toffee ones and all. We've got fromage fraise. These are lovely apart from they're hard to separate. I normally get scissors to the packet. The margarine I was shocked by because we went Tuesday this week, I should have said, because Barry's on holiday this week. So I'm recording this on the 21st. But we picked this one up because I noticed on the vegan guys, they said that it has now gone vegan. So I thought I'd get this one. When I went to open it earlier to have a sandwich, I noticed that it's 450 grams, not 500 anymore. But I still like it because a lot of shops have done away with the security seal. But when you open it, you can see that it's nowhere near the sides. That is how I knew the size had shrunk. But that was £1.25. I've picked up some self-raising flour because I'm going to try and make snacks. I keep telling everybody I'm going to do some cooking. But we also wanted to get the Miss Molly cake mixes, because they were 53p last time. They've also not been sold in Bognor anymore. But this was 58p. The best tea bags I find in this price range are the Tesco's one. They were 65p. But compared to Asda's, Morrison's and all those places, Tesco's is the nicest. It makes a strong cup of tea. We've got 3 sieved tomatoes. This, I'm not very good at making pastry anyway, but this is vegetarian, and I just thought it'd be easier because by the time you add your block of baking butter or your white fat, because I have to use white vegetable fat, not lard, it would be more expensive to actually try and make it properly, because this was 90p. So I'm going to give it a go. If it's any good, I'm going to try and buy more of them. I do know Aldi do it as well, because I looked online but I didn't see it in the shop. So I'm washing up sponges at 43p because everybody needs a sponge. Got some bar foam. That's 90p. They do a cheaper one, but it's actually a smaller bottle, so per 100 mils, this was like 0.3 pence more. So 6 bottles of cola. Ours has now gone up to 20p in Bognor Regis, because somebody pointed out theirs had gone up and ours was still 17p, but ours has now gone up. For Yuki, we're going to try the Tesco's meat-free mince, because corn mince is quite big lumps now. This is little stuff, but sometimes soya protein one does have a bit of a funny smell, so we'll give it a try. That was, did I say $1.75? The corn sausages, if you buy the smaller pack, is on offer at £1.50. The same with the chicken nuggets. Smaller pack is on offer at £1.50. I've got eggs for me and Barry and for any baking. We're the only ones that eat them. And I have gone for the cheap ones. Free range in Tesco's was definitely out of my price range. And the chicken farm down the road, his chickens are still locked up. And you can tell they're still locked up because the weeds are like 4 foot tall. If the chickens were out any time, they would have been eaten. Right, we've got a lettuce. Totally ignore the reduced price. The barcode wasn't covered up, so I've paid 55p. But as you know, on things like fruit and veg, there is no use by date really. It's until it goes yucky. A bag of 32p pasta. Barry wants to make Rice Krispie cakes. Obviously to eat them as breakfast as well, but like I said, he wants to make snacks, so we're going to do that. A bag of 45p rice. We've gone for cherry tomatoes this time. The salad tomatoes, half the packet's still sitting in the fridge and it's still, they look fine, but I thought I'll get cherry tomatoes to see if I eat them a bit quicker. We've got the cucumber. There's no label, but it was 59p. Because I couldn't see the pasta at first, we picked up 23p spaghetti. Connor says this shouldn't be sold. It's a choking hazard. Every time he has spaghetti, he chokes on it. The onions, the receipt says 50p, so they've obviously gone down again, unless the bag's smaller. No, it's still a kilo. Got some carrots. I did write it down. I'm sure they're 45p for sure. Then we've got the, I'm sure it's still 36p for the wholemeal bread, which it's only got a couple of days on it. I think it's 22nd on this one. And then we've picked up the 65 or 70p white bread. The white bread in the cheap one is only any good for toast. It's just too dry. The only crisps I got in Tesco's were the bare ones, because they were on offer at £1. All the other ones that used to be 99p, they're now 1.25. And Yuki and Connor love their snacks, so they're quite disappointed in that. We've got some British Leeks, because they're on offer at 69p. I've got a bottle of vegetable oil, 1.75. We're going to try rice pudding again. Barry loves the stuff and can eat a whole tin to himself. It's now 23p, but we haven't had any in the cupboard for ages, so we've got 2. This is the only flavour of the golden fry that I saw in Tesco's, the beef one. I like this brand because it points out on the side that it's vegetarian. That was 90p. Got 2 tins of chopped tomatoes at 28p. 2 of the baked beans and sausages, they're 39p. And 2 packets of curry noodles. What did I see on, I think it was 32 or 36 on the shelf. I'm really sorry, I can't remember. I know the other week they'd gone up, but I think they've gone back down. What else is for Tesco's? 36p Okies. The custard lemon curd has gone up to 85p. I know it wasn't that before, but it's nice on toast, so we're paying the 85p. We've got 1 tin of sweet corn. Frozen sweet corn has gone so expensive. I think it's about £1.30, whereas it used to be 77p. So I've got a tin of sweet corn and 3 of the 33p chocolate bars. 37p for bourbon biscuits, and then 41p for custard creams. They're the only treats I've got in Tesco's. And 2 bottles of bleach, 49p each. So I've got quite a bit of shopping, even though, so that's Aldi. Right, potatoes in Tesco's, the cheapest was £1.09. They used to be 91, but I don't mind fruit and veg going up so much. It's the snacks I don't like, because to me snacks aren't real food. They're what my kids eat. But yeah, 1 second. Right, so for my kids that is hardly any snacks, even though they're 22 and 24. They like snacks. But the Tesco's part of my shop came to £38.98p. And then we've got to move on to the Aldi bit, which is straight cut chips. I was doing them in the oven, and I was tempted to throw away the deep fat fryer, but when I cook them in the oven, nobody's eating them. So I think I might have to go back to using the deep fat fryer. It depends on how much it costs me in energy, so I shall check on the meter. But I think they were the 99p ones. We've got some dippers, because most of what's in the freezer is actually like pure meats, like pork chops and that. We don't have anything quick cook. They're £1.39. And saying that, Tesco's chicken burgers, the value ones, have now gone up to £1.50, so this was cheaper and the quality is better. The sausage rolls are £1.05. You have to bake them yourself, but it's cheaper to buy these than make the pastry and all that stuff. Sorry, Rocky's barking at the neighbours. Peas I had to get in Aldi. Tesco's frozen veg was nearly all gone. These were 65p, but you only get 900 grams in this packet. Got 50p Yorkshire puddings. We also picked up the fish fingers at £1.55, because they're fillet fish and it is a cheap way of getting fish, and they're nice in a sandwich or with some beans on the side. The coffee that we seem to be addicted to, the gold roast, 200 grams is £2.39. And then something we haven't had for a long time is some onion rings at £1.19. What's this? Potato waffles, they were £1.09 now. We have them occasionally, but Yuki can only have one because sometimes she can't even eat that because the texture, it's something to do with potato products. But yeah, there's supposed to be 12 in there. Hopefully there is still. This Swede was lovely looking and it smells nice and fresh. That was 57p, so that was definitely a good price. And the big, everything's upside down today. The big tray of wonky mushrooms was £1.30. There it is, 650 grams, so that is a bargain. And the other veg we got was wonky peppers. They were £1.16. Right, I am going to get these out the way. We brought 30 crafts, £3.19. So I'm just going to chuck those on the other side of the kitchen now. Then we can see what real food we've got. Or the other food. I've picked up 2 of the sweet and sours. Because it's just easy sometimes to use jar sauces. So we've got 2 of those at 69 each. The tikka sauce is 75p and we've got 2 of those. I've got an onion and garlic. I've just brought one. Just for mainly Yuki in case she wants to try cooking. We've got the lasagna type of sauce. It's just a basic white sauce. But when you make this, you're supposed to put like a pint in of milk. A single pint of milk is 85p. So it's cheaper to buy it ready made. And it'll be cheaper on energy and all that sort of stuff. A 75p mayonnaise, and we've not tried this one, but we've got lots of tuna, and I believe this was 69 as well, but we've only got one because we've not tried it before. Got a tin of meatballs for 59p because, like I say, Connor, normally he gets angry if I try to get him to eat bolognese, so that's for him. And we've got some spaghetti hoops at 16p, just for a quick lunch for someone. Beef ravioli. I thought that might be quite cheap to heat up. It's 55p, and that'll be a warm lunch. And baked beans, they're 22p still. Though, a lot of places that's going up. And the tomato soup, this one, it's 49p, but it's quite a nice consistency. It's not too thin, it's quite a nice one. So we've picked up 2 of those. Got soy milk for Yuki at 55p, and a long life milk for 75p. What was I going to say? Considering it's semi-skimmed, they are quite creamy, these sort of long life milks. And these I thought were 29p because that's what it said on the shelf, but it must have been put in the wrong place because they were 59p. It's because they're the plus. And 1 tub of custard for 55p. Again, that sort of thing. It's probably supposed to do a family, but if it does me and Barry, then it's gone. Unless we're just really greedy people. Some shaving foam for 69p. Washing up liquid is another thing that was missing in Tesco's. This one was 49p. Fruit and grain were 89p. They only had the apple and the strawberry type. Sorry, I'm looking through the screen. I don't normally do that. This, I like it. Barry likes it. We're going to try Connor on it. He normally turns his nose up as soon as he sees the packet. So it's 42p, but I just want to see if he'll try it. The stuffing was 39p. That's to go with when you do a roast dinner. There's 3 pizzas. They were 66p each. they got eaten as soon as we got home. And digestives are 45p. Again, might try and make some sort of cookies, or make cookies out of cookies. Doesn't really make sense, but I'm sure a lot of you know of recipes that use digestives. Sugar, 65p. 6 toilet rolls were 193. And I know people say that toilet rolls, they seem to be going quicker, but they still say like however many squares it is, because there's no way this is 12 rolls. But seeing a pack of 4 sitting on the shelf, they are so small now. I think what they've done is they've definitely made them shorter, but I'm thinking that the square is smaller than what it used to be. I'd love to know if anybody's got old footage where it shows how many square meters each roll's supposed to be. But that's how I think they've shrunk them, is they've just shrunk the size of each square. And we've got beef casserole mix, 20p. It shows steak, stewing steak. I should probably just use it with mince to flavour a dish. A sausage casserole. And normally when I do bolognese, I just stick garlic powder and some herbs in. But I'm wondering if this does make a difference or not. So we're going to try a bolognese. But that was everything we got in Aldi. And that bit was £35 and 4p. So in total, I spent £74 and 2p, which I've got a lot of food on the worktop, but I'm shocked that there's not many snacks for us. Because if anybody's been here for a long time, they will know some weeks we used to get so many snacks and still come in on budget. So this I do think is crazy. But I'm also going to get on in my freezer and make sure I've got the stuff that goes into these. But I think I've definitely got enough meals for the week. It's just the sad faces from the snacks that I'm gonna be so, how can I put it? When they give you that look that they're disappointed in what you've brought, that's what I'm looking forward to this week, or not looking forward to. Even though they're grown-ups, I know I'm going to get that look. So maybe next week I'll manage to get more snacks and try shopping somewhere else. But I hope you enjoyed seeing what we did manage to get for £74. Because believe me, I do think this is a lot of food. So I'm going to let you go. Bye bye, and I'll see you next time.